Hey guys, I'm Monique. In this video, I want to share some type of motivation for you guys just in case you are on a weight loss journey. I am on a weight loss journey as well, and sometimes we get discouraged. I found a video here on YouTube we're going to watch together because I haven't watched it yet. 9 incredible transformations. Get into watching this video, and you guys is going to see my reaction. Comment down in the comment section. Have you ever watched my 600-pound life before?
Since 2012, TLC's hit reality show My 600-Pound Life has been following morbidly obese individuals on their weight loss journeys as they try to kick their life-threatening eating habits and turn their lives around. While not everyone manages to lose weight and get healthier, there have been a ton of successful stories over the years, and today we're gonna take a look at 9 of the most insane transformations on the show. 29-year-old twins Brandy and Candy each weighed around 600 pounds when they started their weight loss journey. Their obesity stemmed from an abusive childhood during which they were molested by a friend of their father's, a drug dealer.
Wow, how sad.
In addition to that, their mother was an alcoholic and food became the twins' comfort. With the help of Dr. Now, Brandy and Candy eventually lost a combined 500 pounds and turned their lives around. Today, both of them look healthier and happier than ever, and while Candy appears to be single, Brandy got married and had a healthy baby girl in June last year. June McCamey had steadily gained weight over 4 pregnancies, but things got really out of hand after her 17-year-old son Kenneth died. She eventually weighed in at 590 pounds, and it was then that she realized that her weight wasn't only a threat to her health, but also to her relationship, as girlfriend Sadie had become more of a caretaker. Now this gave her the push she needed to get help and start losing weight. After gastric bypass surgery and excess skin removal, June eventually lost over 300 pounds and looked like a completely different person.
She did.
Season 4's Sarita was around 12 years old when she was molested by an uncle. And
when people are overweight, we never know what caused them to be overweight, what life experiences happens to them to make them overweight. Sometimes we see people that's overweight and we think, how could they get like that? Hearing these stories, this is how they got like that.
Eating became her comfort.
Right before my weight loss surgery, I made it to the edge of my bed and sat up for the first time in years.
She was already over 300 pounds in her 20s, and now 47, she weighed an estimated 800 pounds.
Wow.
Ironically, Sarita's last job was a coordinator of a healthy eating program,
Really?
But after being laid off due to budget cuts, she had just stayed home and eaten until one day she couldn't get up anymore.
This is going to be one of the hardest things I've ever had to do. And it's going to be a long and painful drive.
When she started her weight loss journey, she had been bedridden for over 2 years, and it took 9 firefighters to carry her out of her house and put her in the back of the van so she could be transported to Houston to see Dr. Now. After losing some weight in the hospital, Sarita gained 28 pounds during a month at home, but eventually got approved for weight loss surgery. Just 2 months after the surgery, her diabetes was already getting better, her blood pressure was okay, her legs were shrinking, and her lymphedema mass was getting smaller, but she was still tied to her bed.
And Dr. Nazarian has been saying, if I don't make more progress, then he thinks I'll need a gastric bypass.
She refused to get up for a long time, and even during the follow-up episode, when her lymphedema had been removed, Sarita kept saying that she was in too much pain to even try.
You guys who don't know what lymphedema is, here's a few images. Sometimes there's fluid leaking through your skin. It has a bad smell. Who would want to get up and be moving around when you know you're going to leave a trail of water behind you? I understand where she's coming from. For me to have little aches and pains and I'm under 160 pounds, it's a shame that I even complain about those little aches and pains that I have compared to what she is dealing with.
Dr. Now eventually sent her to rehab to get her to stand up, but she ended up checking herself out after 1 month against Dr. Now's advice.
She's doing great. I was worried for a while, but I'm really happy to see that she's trying and making the progress she has.
However, Sarita eventually turned things around, and 2 years after starting her journey, she was walking on her own for the first time in years. At 570 pounds, 42-year-old Angel Parrish was bound to a wheelchair and depending on her boyfriend Donnie to take care of her. Angel's problems had started after becoming pregnant at the age of 14 and being given an ultimatum by her mother to either move out and keep the child or stay and give the child up for adoption. Angel had chosen to give the baby away but had started eating to cope with her feelings. Things got even worse when she later suffered from postnatal depression following the birth of her son with Donnie, and Angel simply stopped living, doing nothing but eating, which prompted Donnie to threaten to take their son and move out if she didn't get help. After changing her diet and losing 150 pounds, Angel was approved for weight loss surgery, dropped over 300 pounds, and was finally able to look at herself in the mirror and love what she saw.
Can you imagine that? Just the pain that she went through from the time that she was 14 until she had her second child. Not having the opportunity to make life decisions. Your parent made it for you. Sometimes we don't realize what effect things can have on people because we just make the decision. We make it because we think it's best for them at that moment. But what would be the long-term effect? Her long-term effect of giving up her baby, she turned to eating. I am an emotional eater. I don't know about you. Comment down in the comment section. Do your emotions drive you to eat?
When her first episode premiered in 2015, 43-year-old Marla from Nashville weighed approximately 800 pounds and was believed to be only a few weeks away from dying.
How sad.
The mother of 3 suffered from arthritis, diabetes, gout, and had lymphedema because of her weight.
When we go shopping for her, it's not what she needs to be eating, what she should
Wow.
be eating. It's about what she wants to eat. And if you ain't got what she wants, she mad.
She was also on oxygen at night and hadn't left her bed in a long time. Her daughters were the ones taking care of her, but also the ones enabling her and bringing her the food she requested so that she wouldn't get angry. Marla wasn't just one of Dr. Now's heaviest, but also one of his most challenging patients. She hadn't been heavy as a child, but had started gaining weight in early 20s when she was in an abusive relationship. When trying to break up with that boyfriend, he had flipped out and held her at gunpoint before shooting 2 officers who came to help Marla.
Wow.
My kid's gonna come here and find me dead one day. The idea of that horrifies me. I need to do something fast.
That is crazy. Fear drove her. Somebody else's action caused each one of these people to react. Let's continue.
By the time they finally caught her abusive ex-boyfriend, she was already over 700 pounds, and when she started filming for the show and wanted to go and meet with Dr. Now, they had to call EMS to get her to Houston. The weight loss specialist said that Marla was in one of the worst conditions he had ever seen, and the long journey had also taken a toll on her, so that during the first night in the hospital, she stopped breathing because a blood clot had dislodged. Although they managed to stabilize her and put her on a restricted diet so she would start losing weight finally, she kept skipping physical therapy and refused to get up for a long time. She was eventually sent home due to her lack of cooperation, and after 4 months at home, she still refused to get up.
You just have to get them to try once and show them that they are able.
Worried that she wouldn't get better, her daughter contacted Dr. Now again and he finally got her to try and stand up. Although she could barely do it even with help, she finally managed to stand on her own feet for the first time in years, and it encouraged her to keep going and do her exercises.
I'm trying, Sierra. I'm trying.
You just have to get them to try once and show them that they are able.
Since Marla had originally not been able to be weighed in the hospital, her starting weight was only estimated to be around 800 pounds.
We on the outside looking in. We don't know how hard it is to get up off this chair, to exercise, and using me as an example. I have none of these ailments. I can move freely. I can get up. I don't need a walker. I don't need assistance to do anything. And I still choose to lay in this bed sometimes and do absolutely nothing. I have no excuse. You don't either. We need to start doing stuff, moving around, because if we don't, we can end up like this.
But after a whole year, they were finally able to weigh her and found out that she had come down to 534 pounds, meaning she had lost over 250 pounds. And today, 4 years after starting her weight loss journey, she hasn't only managed to keep the weight off, but has lost an incredible 600 pounds altogether. When we first met Olivia Cruz all the way back in 2014, she weighed 578 pounds and was almost entirely dependent upon her family for any activity that required mobility. She was living in her mother's basement and felt trapped by her situation, but fortunately managed to turn things around with the help of bariatric surgeon Dr. Sarita. Within 3 years, Olivia managed to lose a stunning 380 pounds, which was about 65% of her peak body weight, putting her near the top of my 600-pound life weight loss by percentage. Although Olivia suffered some setbacks and struggled to get skin removal surgery after her extreme weight loss, she never gave up and eventually fulfilled her biggest dream and became a chef to make food for other people. 51-year-old Pauline Potter was one of the show's most controversial patients, as she didn't seem to understand how serious her situation was and actually had herself named as the Guinness World Record holder for the heaviest living woman at 643 pounds. Before appearing on the show to get help, Pauline had claimed to have lost weight as the result of having a lot of sex with her ex-husband, but when she came to Dr. Now, she weighed 673 pounds, and instead of losing weight, she gained another 5 pounds in the following month. Pauline eventually managed to turn things around, and after getting gastric bypass surgery, she managed to lose an incredible 300 pounds.
Wow, sex made her lose weight.
When 31-year-old Joe Wexler first appeared on the show in 2015, he weighed in at 777 pounds. During his first meeting with Dr. Now, he was told that he would have to go down to 650 in order to be approved for surgery, but unfortunately Joe ended up gaining another 15 pounds until the next appointment.
Oh my God, it hurts. I felt like my life was finally turning around. I just hope I'm not about to lose everything because I pushed myself too hard.
Like most people on the show, Joe struggled with emotional eating, which started during his childhood when his parents had split up and he felt rejected by his father. According to his sister, Joe had always been bigger, but following their parents' split, his weight had spiraled out of control.
I saw you a couple of months ago and gave you a chance. You still gain weight. And you're on borrowed time here. Try again.
In order to lose the required weight to get weight loss surgery, Joe and his mom Robin decided to move from Johnson City, Tennessee to Houston, Texas to be closer to Dr. Now's clinic. The weight loss specialist also sent his patient to a therapist in order to deal with his emotional issues, and Joe then finally started losing weight. After being so heavy that he was barely able to do anything on his own and being ready to give up on life, Joe managed to turn things around, lost 140 pounds and qualified for surgery.
But right now, I'm just getting to know Haley, and Sarah and I are preparing for the wedding. I still have about 150 pounds to go before I hit my target weight.
Within just 2 years of starting his weight loss journey, Joe's life had changed completely as he lost a whopping 505 pounds and got married after meeting his wife in an online weight loss support group. Like for so many people on the show, Lupe's weight problem started during her childhood. After her dad had left the family, her mother had a nervous breakdown and subsequently started using drugs, eventually ending up in prison. Lupe and her sister moved to their grandmother's, and when she passed away, Lupe's weight spiraled out of control completely. Becoming less and less mobile, Lupe ended up dropping out of school, and now that she was 39, she had not only weighed over 500 pounds for 2 whole decades, but had also been bedridden for 10 years. She started her weight loss journey weighing 642 pounds and didn't just rid herself of a lot of weight, but also of her unfaithful husband who treated her very poorly and sparked outrage among the show's viewers when he forced Lupe, who was fresh out of surgery, to be intimate with him due to his needs as a man, ultimately causing his wife a lot of pain as her stitches opened up and she developed infections.
Really? He made this all about him? That's so sad.
Lupe eventually lost around 420 pounds in 2 years, left her husband, and started dating a DJ.
Good for her. What is your story? And to the next one. Bye, guys.